and we are able to actually delete 2 bills. Yay! I'm so excited. I have never been more excited in my life. All right, so we are back. Hello, everyone. I am just sitting here with my cup of coffee. I can't really show you the front of it without spilling my coffee, but I'll pop a picture. It's my new chicken mug I got for Christmas. Super, super excited. So we are going to do the paycheck for February 16th. And first I want to apologize. I am not in my typical setting. We have family here, and quite frankly, I don't want to film it in front of everybody. So I am in my bedroom on a spare table. So please bear with me. I hope everyone had a really good weekend and is having a really good month. I hope we're all making strides in paying off our debt and saving more of our money. So this paycheck is for 2/16. So if we look over the month spread, we are on this paycheck, which is going to encompass all of our credit cards, all of our last bills of the month, and we are able to actually delete 2 bills. Yay! I'm so excited. I have never been more excited in my life, but I have had this storage since 2020. When you figure I've paid $121 a month since 2020, that's a lot of money. So we are going to get that this month. So I am super excited about that. So I am now going to try and finagle as much as I can in this last pay period, because as you know, the first is right after this pay period, and that is our mortgage payment. So I have to make the biggest ding I can and get all of these bills paid on time. This paycheck, our income was $27.75, or will be $27.75. I have 2 side hustles, $350 and $250. The $300 that I was expecting was actually from our brother-in-law who lives with us. So he just lost his job last week. I'm not real certain that $300 is going to come in. So I'm just not going to push it, and I'm just not going to count it. So this pay period, we have our 2 side hustles along with our main income, giving us a total of $33.75. Out of this $33.75, we have our tax payments, our credit cards, and all of our other residual bills. So when I was doing my first budget, because I take the budget column and that is my plan A, I always come up with 2 different scenarios, because I feel like on the second time around, I'm much more strategic and I've had time to think. So I usually come up with a game plan and I let it sit. I will let it sit for a couple days, and I will come back to it, and I will see where can I adjust, where can I make the most use of my money that I have left over that I didn't really think about the first time. More often than not, I will go with my second plan B. So our budget column is basically our plan A. And at the time, these credit card balances weren't calculated yet. So I had no idea what to put there. So this column is just a little bit off, with me scratching out our storage and our renter's insurance, as we are not going to have to pay on the 28th for either one of those charges. So those are going away. So our plan B, let me just get my budget workbook, because I do everything in Google Sheets to start off with. And that just makes sure that I don't muck up my book. If I can get this to even cooperate. It gives me crap all the time. I do not like working off my iPad. I cannot wait to get a computer. So this is our total, and I am going to basically write down our plan B, because that is what we were going with. And that is going to leave us with $74 left over to roll into next pay period, because that pay period is our mortgage. So this is just going to lessen the blow because the majority of our income, that paycheck, is our mortgage payment. So I am going to write all of these down, and we're going to go over Plan B. So the IRS is actually going to stay the same. Our first credit card payment is $83. With our second credit card payment is now $222. Our third credit card is $92. We have Disney Plus coming out. Our cell phone and internet, we're gonna keep the same. Student loans, I'm choosing not to pay anything extra this time around. We're just gonna keep those the same payment, and these student loans are 3 student loans to make up that $118. Next, we have our pest control. So we have a pest control loan and pest control service. This pest control loan basically came from surrounding our home and our shop with termite baits, as well as putting insulation in our attic. So we are still paying that off. We have just a little bit to go. I think our balance now is $1,696. So I have only $1,600 left to pay before that is paid off. So that is going to stay the same. And our service is the same. Driver's legal. My husband drives for a living. That is just a legal service where he can protect his CDL. So that is $14. Our car insurances are $565. This is for more than one vehicle. We don't have to pay storage or renter's insurance this month. That is currently off auto pay, so we owe nothing. And our mower loan is $282. Now I do have miscellaneous and a buffer, and that total is going to be $2286. And what is left over is $1,089. Now everything else is pretty much going to stay the same. The variable expenses we're able to do this month. Now our variable expenses are monthly expenses. They are not daily expenses. So when you see our variable, this is our food for the entire month. I do not go grocery shopping more than once a month. And how I keep this so minimal is I go on Aldi.com, I set up an account, and I will put food into my shopping cart all month long until I reach this total. Now, I use this as a benchmark because I've already budgeted it. So if I have $425 or $450 to spend, I'm gonna spend the entire thing. This helps us build our food pantry, our storage, our freezers, and whatnot. So I choose sales, clearance, coupons, you name it. That's how we store for our food. So over time, this $450 becomes more than doable because I have residual in our house. So by using Aldi.com, or you could even use Instacart as long as you don't order for delivery. And that helps me stay on track because I can see prices. All I do is I order for pickup. They bring everything out to my car and I leave. It is as simple as that. So that is one trick that I use to stay within my budget, and I adjust and I add all month long. Our date night is once a month. This usually can bring us about 3 lunches. We typically go for lunches instead of dinner because it is cheaper. And this gives us at least 3 weeks out of the month that we can basically order drive-through or go out for lunch. Miscellaneous, again, is because I do smoke. I have an e-cigarette that I'm trying to quit. It is a 30-year struggle, so there's that. Our gas is for 2 cars. This is for gas and fuel because my husband's truck takes diesel. So he will actually take the majority of that. So every month for our monthly spending, I use $750, and this fills both cars, as well as our date night funds and all of our food expenses. The other monthly contributions that we have are our sinking funds. I don't put money into our sinking funds every paycheck. I am only able to do this 1 out of our 2 paychecks per month. And that is simply because our mortgage takes up the majority of 1 paycheck. So usually mid-month I can put money aside, and my goal is to do $100 a month. And this will fill all of our sinking funds. And for those who are new to my channel, our equipment sinking fund is because we have a commercial lawnmower to mow our acreage, and that is for diesel. Our mower does not take gas. Our animals, we do have a couple of chicken pens out back, as well as our little dog. So this just pays for animal feed and bedding that our animals need, and that is basically a wash. Whatever I put into my account for our animals each month is gone each month. So I only set aside what I actually need. Our cash is just what I can take out from an ATM. We live in the country. Not everybody uses an ATM or can take electronic payment, so this just works for us to have cash on hand. Auto is just for our auto expenses. Our home, self-explanatory. Our auto expenses, garden and seed. I'm pretty much well to do for the next couple of years as far as seed goes. I save our own seeds from what we grow. Man, seed packets are getting stupid expensive. And that just helps, lessen the blow later on. I'm pretty good right now. I didn't have to pull from any of that. I was able to use my own seeds from last year, and we now have seeds that have been started, which I will put a picture for you. Our life prep is because, let's face it, I'm not young. My husband's not young. We're in our 40s. This is going to help save up money so that we can prepare a will, buy our burial plot, get a medical proxy, all of those life-ending things so that our children do not have to worry about it. Fencing, we have half of our property is not fenced. And y'all, this is causing a big issue. Last week, I had to unfortunately buy cameras. Me being a woman in the country, people thinking that my property is their property, and they're scaring the shit out of me. So I've had to install cameras all over our property and floodlights. I'm in Texas, y'all, so if that tells you anything. So this fencing is going to be pushed up, and unfortunately, we have credit card debt, and I have no choice but to take whatever savings I have, whatever I can save in this account, jumping on this fencing versus waiting, because we're getting to a point where waiting is not working in our favor. So that leaves me with our typical $100 to save for all of these expenses, giving us a leftover of $526. So our variable expenses, as I said earlier, are going to stay the same. So we are doing $339. We're gonna do $339. And all of these are going to stay the same also. And that is going to bring us down to $239. So this is my last, yes, I said last. Oh my goodness. Since November, I have been attacking this credit card. And we are finally going to pay this off. So my total is $165. And this is going to leave me with $74. Now this $74, I'm just going to keep this in the account because our mortgage is due in March 1st, which is literally the next paycheck. If we go up to March, our mortgage is due on the 1st. So because I have mortgage, our LifeLock subscription, our 2 Synchrony credit cards, our solar payment, a car payment, electric, 2 credit cards, man, this is gonna be one hell of a freaking check. And I'm gonna be bumping to the middle of the month because this isn't gonna happen. So I'll have to finagle next month's, but this $74 is going to definitely help. So a couple things happened with this last paycheck. Our Synchrony credit cards are due, I said on the 5th. Actually, one's on the 5th, one's on the 7th. This has no interest. And this is totally my fault. I take complete ownership for it. I should have learned, I should have looked, but I didn't. Our Synchrony credit cards both have 0% interest. However, because I was paying more than my minimum payment and I was using this paycheck to pay for it, these were considered late. So be careful with Synchrony. Even though they have 0% interest for a specific duration of time, I did not know, and that is totally my fault, that if I did not pay this bill as of midnight on the day it is due, they give me, or give anyone, a $30 late charge per account. So because I had originally wanted to pay this Synchrony credit card using my 16th paycheck, now Synchrony 1 and Synchrony 2, because I have 2 Synchrony accounts, each got a $30 late charge and blew my budget by $60 on a 0% interest card. Lesson learned. So that was completely my fault, and it basically took all the buffer that I had left over in our account and took it. So I was very pissed. I cannot tell you how angry that made me, but it was completely my fault. I should have read deeper into their terms and conditions, and I did. So it cost me, and that's just something that I'm gonna have to look, extra careful at when I do my budgets going forward. So the other plans that I have for March is we have to file our taxes. I know that our taxes are $250. I'm going to split that up into 2 with some of the residual dollars I have saved in our tax account already and get that filed early. And then I would love to pay $100 more on my mower to get one of those bills that I talked about during my last video for February 2nd. I wanted to pay off bills early. I have 3 that I can pay off early by the end of this year. This is just going to make sure that I stay on track. I do have March kind of planned out. This is going to be a very difficult month for me. Yeah, all of these bills in the first part of the month, all of these bills in the second part of the month. I don't know why this month is just making me anxious, but it is. So that is my plan of action for the February 16th paycheck. Paying more attention to, my Synchrony cards so that I don't get those late fees ever again. So that I wasn't expecting. Yeah, so now we are going to pay off, I shouldn't say pay off. I should say take care of some of the payoff trackers that I have. So this paycheck, I did pay off another student loan payment. I am going to mark off. Ooh, let me get a different color. I'm going to mark off another payment. So pest control comes out on the 23rd. Hasn't quite come out yet because today's only the 15th and our paycheck is the 16th. Pest control won't come out until the 27th, but that is auto draft. So I'm just going to count it. So after that payment comes out, we are well on our way. This is one of the ones that I wanted to pay off early. We only have about $1,696 left to pay. This is due to be paid off in May of 2025. I would love to pay it off by January 1st. So we're on our way to that one. My mower loan, we are paying $282 at the end of the month. That will make another payment. And we are damn near on our way to 75% paid off. This is the second bill I wanted to pay by January 1st. This one's also due to be paid off May of 2025. I'm just trying to speed it up. And our student loan payoffs. So our student loans come out on the 23rd. And I'm just gonna make my actual payment. So that's $223. And my auto payment. So I just made my auto payment, which means I can fill this out. I actually made it a couple of days ago from the last paycheck. So I am going to fill out another car. So I'm one payment closer. So technically I have 36, 37, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46 minus 1, 45 payments left. And then this one I kind of showed briefly in the last video, but I didn't implement it. My goal every year is to make an extra payment. So while I do round up my mortgage from 2077, 2078, I do always try to pay 2100 and just keep it simple. Kind of making extra payments without really trying to make extra payments. And I'm not counting them on this sheet. So each black house is $25 and each gray house is $50. So as I make extra payments, I'm gonna start filling these out. But for January and for February, I did not make extra payments. So this hasn't really been implemented yet, but this is my goal. So I filled out my trackers. We did our 216 budget. I am on track to file taxes next month and pay an extra $100 on our mower. Our priority is to make more money for the month of March. So that is all that we have planned for this paycheck. I hope you all are having a very, very happy February. I know we had Valentine's Day yesterday. I hope y'all had a good time with your loved ones. And yeah, so I'm very happy with the way that this check went. I don't really have a lot left over, which is fine. We're doing the very best we can. So on March, we are 2 bills short, which is fantastic. So we're chugging along and I'm pretty happy with that. Thank you so much for subscribing, liking, watching my channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. It really helps this channel grow. I did notice through our analytics that 90% of those who watch my channel are not subscribed. So please make sure you do subscribe. That way you can get in on all the debt payoff progress, and we can do this together. That to me is the most important thing. We are all in so much debt, y'all. And it can be a very isolating and very embarrassing thing to go through. I know that when I started, and even now, y'all, my family doesn't even know that we're in this much debt because I just don't speak about it. So I get it. And the best thing that we can do is come together as a community, pat each other on the back, give each other hugs, high fives. You got this, girl. You can do this. And encourage one another in these times of absolute craziness is just how I'm going to say it. We need each other. You know, we need that encouragement. We need that, you know, you're not alone. None of us are alone in this journey, and we have so much knowledge to give. Y'all, there are so many different age brackets on YouTube doing budget channels, from computers to iPads to cell phones to handwritten notebooks to budget books like what I use, Google Sheets. There are 20 somethings, 30 somethings, 40 somethings, 50 somethings, 60 somethings, all age groups. And you will get a plethora of knowledge throughout all these age groups. And that to me is worth its weight in gold. You can't buy a book getting all that knowledge in one spot. I hope you all found this video very, very helpful. Got some different ideas as to how I budget and how I manage my money. And as always, thank you so much. And until next time.